Hello, this is my informative speech video. I don't have a camera on, or I don't have a camera and I don't have a camera on my laptop, so I'm hoping that the phone works. I hope you could see me, I hope you could hear me. Here we go. Did you know that the average deaf student graduates from high school with reading comprehension skills at about a fourth grade reading level? And approximately 20% leave school with reading levels at or below a second grade level. This is due to the fact that deaf individuals often need a tailored education that is significantly different than that of a hearing individual. These statistics came from Luckner and Hanley in their research on reading comprehension within the deaf community. Have you ever had a teacher that you didn't like because they taught in a way that didn't quite fit your learning style? You may be an auditory learner, but your teacher favored visual techniques. It's safe to say that you might have not done so hot in that class when you weren't being taught in the way that you preferred. That's exactly what it's like for a deaf student who is placed in a hearing classroom, and that is why we need certified educators who could provide the same learning opportunities to deaf and hard of hearing students as given to hearing students. I have witnessed this educational discrepancy firsthand as my cousin went deaf around the age of when cognitive development spikes the most. Her education was negatively impacted because she was kept in a hearing school which didn't provide the accommodation she needed. In addition to this, I did research regarding how to become a special educator of the deaf and why it is important. Becoming a special education teacher that focuses on hard of hearing and deaf students requires 3 steps to ensure that you are qualified to teach students with these special needs. These include receiving an education at an accredited college, student teaching, and becoming licensed in the state that you will teach in. Once you have made the decision that teaching and special education is what you want to pursue in life, the first step is to get a college degree from a school that offers programs for special education of the deaf and hard of hearing. To become a teacher, you must first complete your education at a college that is recognized by the state you wish to teach in. Becoming a teacher of deaf children always requires a bachelor's degree in deaf education at the bare minimum. A bachelor's degree will prepare you with knowledge in audiology, child development, psychology, and American Sign Language. You'll learn the skills necessary to properly teach and meet the needs of deaf students. Within this degree, you will also be required to observe in special education classrooms for a minimum of 100 hours before you begin student teaching. After a bachelor's degree, you could further your education by obtaining a master's degree in deaf and hard of hearing education. This will prepare you to work with students who have different levels of hearing loss. Master's degrees are not required of special education teachers, but it is often pursued because it raises your salary and extends your job opportunities further. Master's programs emphasize communication and literacy development as well as meeting the needs of deaf students in different educational settings. These programs will include an internship, a practicum, and other core classes that will lead you to your certification from the Council on Education of the Deaf. You can read this information and more in the article called Teaching the Deaf and Hard of Hearing from the website www.masterseducation.com. Once you've received your education, you'll begin the process of student teaching to put your new knowledge to use and to further your understanding of what this career will include on a daily basis. Student teaching experience is required of all teachers and significantly prepares you more to be in a classroom of your own. Student teaching is a great way for teachers to learn how to use all the skills they've been taught in earning their degree. During your student teaching experience, you will take on a variety of responsibilities that will help you once you manage a classroom on your own. Some of these responsibilities include developing lesson plans, grading assignments, and talking to parents. You'll also learn more about classroom dynamics and management. Using these skills instead of just hearing about them will help you once you take full responsibility of the classroom you are student teaching in. In a study done on the effectiveness of student teaching, Conderman said, the more preparation prospective teachers receive, the more likely they are to stay in the profession. So student teaching is very beneficial in preparing you for this career. Since student teaching is a requirement for everyone, it is fairly easy to get started. Student teaching is usually a part of a class that you take near the end of your college experience. And because of this, college generally set up student teaching for you by already having schools ready. According to the article, What Student Teaching is Like, once you do have your student teaching location set up, it is a good idea to contact the school administrators, principal, and most importantly, the teacher that you will be with. You will need to discuss what expectations both you and your assigned teacher will have in order for you to get the best experience and knowledge out of student teaching. The final step in becoming a certified special education teacher is obtaining a state licensing. State licensing has usually been a set requirement, but in recent years, the licensing requirements have changed, allowing more people to become teachers without getting a bachelor's degree specifically for education. Licensing does depend on the type of school and level you want to teach at, but in order to work in any public school, you do need licensing. You will start with getting your professional educator license. This license will require you to show proof of your bachelor's degree or a higher degree if you obtained it from a state-approved program, as well as proof of your student teaching hours and any specific content tests, which in this case would include an American Sign Language fluency test. As I mentioned before, there are ways to receive your PEL, which without going through the process of student teaching and studying education while in college. For those who have not completed traditional teacher preparation, obtaining that license is still possible as long as you already have a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution. To do this, you will need to be issued as part of a program, and this program will include heavy coursework load and placement in a classroom with a mentor teacher. Eventually, the certification from this program will be replaced with the professional educator license. Becoming a special education teacher for the deaf and hard of hearing has many long steps to it, but overall, it is a rewarding experience to help those students who need it. Special education teachers for the deaf and hard of hearing are providing an appropriate and equal education to these students by ensuring that they are qualified to teach students with these special needs. Receiving an education from an accredited college, getting student teaching experience, and becoming licensed in the state you will teach in are all a part of this long but rewarding journey. Deaf and hard of hearing individuals need accommodations made to their education as any other student, and it is their right to be provided that education by trained professionals who want to see them succeed just as much as hearing students. We are all deserving of an education that fits us best individually, which is why we need special educators to provide that. Thank you.